Corpse is the realtor of this property. Mind you, I haven't seen this man. Let that nigga drop you off. Don't wait on it tonight, I wanna get nasty. Time video, your girl is back again with another story time. If you're to my channel, hey girl, hey. And if you're a returning subscriber, I don't have to say anything because you know what's up, I know what's up, we know what's up, and that's on what? That's on period. And Mary had a little lamb. As y'all can see by the title and the thumbnail, today's story time is going to be about the time I called the police on my realtor, y'all. I called the popo on my realtor. So let's go ahead and get into it. So y'all already know, in order for any of my story times to make sense, I have to give y'all a little backstory. So this story initially started in 2017 and it ended in 2021, but I'm gonna start in 2021 and then I'm gonna take y'all back to 2017. Around this time, I was in a relationship. We're gonna call my man at the time a reality check. Yeah. Frontal lobe developed a little more after him. It did, y'all. It very much did. So we were dating for about 2.5 years at this time, and our lease was coming to an end. Mind you, this wasn't really our lease. This was his lease. I had moved in with him, and his mother had decorated the apartment. It had like 34 different colors, and I love his mother down, but no. I'm a very simple girl. 2 to 3 colors with a splash of orange. We Gucci. Didn't really like the decor. Didn't really feel like the place really fits me. So I wanted to move. But at the time, reality check, he didn't really want to move. He was stuck in his ways. He was just like, the rent is $900. This is the cheapest rent in the area. Like, we don't got no roaches. Like, we in a nice area. Like, we cool. Like, I don't want to move, y'all. And I'm not going to hold you. At this point, y'all, we were at the very end of our relationship. We was at the point in our relationship where I can start envisioning myself, imagining myself with somebody else. I would be in bed like Asia and Brad Pitt's, Asia and Michael B. Jordan. Like, I can see that, y'all. Like, you know, I would just toggle with the idea of me being with somebody else. But then again, I was still like, 5% of me still had hope that we were gonna make things work. And I'm happy we didn't end up. Let me not jump ahead, but I'm gonna just say we were looking up places. Translation. I was the only one looking up places, y'all. He was comfortable with our current place. And like I said, y'all, the current place was also my workplace. So this was during the pandemic, y'all. This was in 2021. I worked in the same bedroom I laid my head in. Like, my bed was literally in like arm's reach of my work desk. I'm just like, hey, you know, the lease is coming to an end. I really don't want you to renew the lease. Like, I want a place for us because this is you and your mama place. But I want a place that have, you know, my touches on it. And like I said, y'all, this man was adamant about like, let's just stay here. Like, it's a good neighborhood. We good. We don't have no problems. We have the cheapest rent in the area. He even reached out to the landlord, and the landlord was just like, I'm raising the rent by like $15. And then that's when he kind of got the idea of like, all right, you gonna raise the rent $50. I might be looking to somewhere else to stay. So that's when he started entertaining the idea of us getting a new place, y'all. I don't know why he told me that, because the day he told me that the rent was going up, I didn't care if it was going up by a cent, y'all. The fact that the rent was going up, I took advantage of that. I went on Zillow. I started looking up crazy apartments within the budget, y'all, because he didn't want a place that was, I think our rent at that time was like $900. He didn't want a place over like $1,500. So I'm on Zillow and I'm looking up rental properties at this time. I'm looking at houses. I'm looking at apartments. I'm looking at townhouses. I'm doing a whole bunch of research, y'all. And I found a few properties. I went to go view them by myself. And most of the places, they weren't really giving. Like, it was just giving outdated. But y'all know when you on Zillow or you on apps, it starts showing you notifications from other apartments and stuff. So I'm on Facebook at the time, and I see this ad for this townhouse, y'all. And the townhouse was within the budget. Well, I'm lying. It was like $100 over the budget. And I was just like, fine, I got it. I'll pay the additional $100. I will pay the application fee. I really wanted this house. And I'm on Zillow and I'm like looking into the property. The property is like 15 minutes from where we were at. We were in a really nice area at the time. So I'm like, okay, it's basically within budget. We have a yard. And at that time, I was kind of torn with the idea of getting a dog. So I really wanted this property. So I tell Reality Check about it. And he was just like, all right, if you willing to pay the additional rent, then we can possibly move into the place or whatever. So I end up scheduling an appointment on Zillow. And mind you, y'all, when I scheduled the appointment, this was going to be a open viewing. Like no one was going to be there because a lot of properties during this time doing like not virtual viewings, basically like open house where you can go in, put the code in, and you can view the house without a realtor accompanying you. So that's what I did. I set an appointment. And keep in mind, during this whole time, God was telling me like, Asia, this not what you want. Like, this not what you want. But you know, I'm the queen of turning red flags white. I get colorblind when the red flags show up. So, y'all, I went through with it. I booked the appointment, and we was just arguing like crazy. It had got so bad that I told a person that wasn't even really my friend, y'all. She was a stranger at the time, and I had just met her in like a week. Shout out to my girl Brick, because we still locked in to this day, but she probably thought I was crazy. Me and her was doing like little workouts during this time, and I remember literally mid jump rope, y'all, I just bust out crying. And she was just like, are you good? Like, what's up with you? Mind you, y'all, the girl didn't even know me. We knew each other for like 15 seconds. It was like our second or third time hanging out ever. And I'm just, y'all, crying, bawling my eyes out. And she's like, what is wrong with you? So I'm telling her like basically, y'all, you can barely understand anything I was saying because I was bawling my eyes out that bad because I was feeling like the relationship was on the end. Like I cried. And y'all, I told her the discourse that me and him was having at that time. Don't ask me what it was because I personally do not remember. But I know it was basically over an argument and the man was giving me the silent treatment. And I remember I was so mad that I didn't even check her. Homegirl told me my man was a bossy boy. She was just like, Asia, I don't like him for you. Like, me do not like him for you. He's a bossy boy. And I just started crying a little harder when she told me that, y'all. Fast forward to that following week. We go to the house, and y'all, leading up to the house, when I say I love the neighborhood of this house was absolutely beautiful. Like, it was beautiful. I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be our day. This is gonna be our house. We are moving in 2 months, and this is gonna set us free.
It didn't.
It was a good day. Like, I used to literally count the days. We would look at each other and be like, damn, it's been 3 days with no argument. Like, y'all, we was having a good 3 days. Fast forward to that day. No arguments, no nothing, all smiley. We end up going to the viewing. And when I got there, y'all, I was hella confused because somebody was parked in the driveway. I'm like, maybe they overbooked. Like, I booked the appointment at the same time somebody else booked the appointment. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, maybe they finishing up. Like, maybe we here a little early. Like, let me let them come out and then we'll go in and see the house. So I was just like, I'm gonna go ahead and get out, y'all. And when I got out, I knew the realtor. We're going to go ahead and pause right here, and I'm going to take y'all back to 2017. Because y'all remember that time I told y'all I was in my first, only, and last situationship? Y'all don't? Come here. I'm going to remind you. This story time right here, back going to tell him to come here, or it's not goose. Like, I'm not going to. Back in 2017, I told y'all about this situationship. And y'all, this wasn't one of those situationships where a man tell you he do not want you in every single language and you act like you speak Mandarin. No, baby, this is not one of those. This was a situationship where I would be with this man and his homeboys would call him and he would be like,
hey, bro, I'm gonna have to hit you back because I'm with my girl.
This is one of those situations where we would be at dinner and then the waitress would ask me, what do I want to eat? And then he would look over at me and be like,
babe, you want the steak and potatoes with the asparagus on the side? Yeah, my girl wants the steak and potatoes with the asparagus on the side.
This is one of those situationships where we would be out in public and when he would introduce me to friends and coworkers and family.
This my girl, Asia.
So what was I to think? I was his girl, right? Nope, wrong. Was not his girl. Y'all. So that went on for about 8 months, and then finally it was right after my 20th birthday. I think my frontal lobe developed just a little more after my 20th birthday, y'all, because that's when I grew some common sense to ask him, like, what are we? Am I you and you me and I'm you? Like, are we this?
Negative.
Or this? Like, what are we? So I hit him with that. I asked Realtor that. I'm like, hey, what are we? And the man told me we was just coolin'. We was just vibing. I was the wind because I was going with the flow. That's what he told me. That's what he told me, y'all. And after that day, we were done. We were done, y'all. We might as well call him corpse, y'all, because that man was dead to me. Well, actually, let's call him that. Let's call him that. That's who Realtor was to me. If y'all want all the details and how that situation officially ended, y'all can go back and watch this story time. But that's pretty much the short of what happened in 2017 when I was in my first, only, and ever situationship. Thank you. Thank God for that. Because some of y'all be sitting on these apps saying,
you don't hear from him after 9, his phone be on D&D after 10, and you can't ever hear from him before 11 a.m.
And y'all still be claiming that that's your man.
Oh.
This was very much a narcissist and a liar. But back to where we are in current day. We like 3 ninjas later, y'all. Because I've had a total of 4 boyfriends. And at the time, I want to say Realtor was the second one. And I was on my 4th one. So it's years later.
Scratch the 4 and take it down to 3. Because one of them playing for the other team. So I don't think that counts.
We're back at the door, y'all. When I get to the door, I see corpse, but I don't see corpse. You ever see somebody and you be like, my eyes are disbelieving me. Like, that's not who I think it is. Is that who I think it is? Because at this point, y'all, I haven't seen corpse since 2017. Like, I left him in 2017. So now it's 2021. I'm on my 4th ninja at this point.
3rd.
So when I see him, I'm just like, that's not really him. That ain't even him. I started looking at the interior and the framing of the walls of the townhouse, y'all, because I ain't really think that was him. So I'm looking around, and I'm looking, and reality check comes in behind me, and he goes to the kitchen, and I hear him talking to corpse, and corpse was just like, oh, hey, I was just getting ready to finish up here, but while I'm here, when are y'all looking to move in? Because I can show y'all around the place.
I remember that voice.
Yeah. Corpse is the realtor of this property. Mind you, I haven't seen this man in years.
Not that this would have made me any less shocked to be seeing him again after so long, but he was not in that profession when we dated. He worked in the medical field. So this man was selling me dreams, not his man selling houses. Y'all should have seen my face.
So when I hear his voice, I'm like, that voice sounds familiar. That voice sounds familiar. I go to the kitchen, y'all, and it's corpse. And when I see corpse is keeping it cute and professional. So I follow suit. He don't say, oh, hey, Asia, how you been? How you feeling? He's like, hey, how you doing, ma'am? Ma'am, you used to call me Lonnie. But y'all, he ain't doing any of that. I'm like, hey, hello. And he starts telling us about the property. He's talking about the fixtures, talking about the granite countertops, talking about the ceiling, the lighting. Like, he's talking about the property. And the whole time, I'm just looking like, wow. Okay. And I'm not gonna hold you. I was in the denial stage of my relationship, but y'all, that's when I went back to picturing myself with somebody else. I already know when the property was built. I already know who owns the property. I already know how much they rent. I know everything, y'all, because I already researched all of this on Zillow, but I did not know that he was a realtor for this property. So when he's doing all the talking in the kitchen, my man at the time, he's asking him a whole bunch of questions that I already know the answer to. And I'm just walking around, y'all. I'm walking through the den. I'm walking through the dining area. They're still in the kitchen. Eventually, my man, reality check, he ends up going upstairs. And I walk in the kitchen, and y'all, the act falls. The act falls down. It's like, hey, how you been? And he was just like,
Asia, I've been good. I see you doing good. I see you look good.
I do. I do. But how you been?
I've been good. I started flipping houses a few years ago. I moved out of Tally. I'm now located in Houston, Texas, and Miami, and Orlando. So I'm doing well.
While he's talking, y'all, I'm looking at him like this. Well, he was short, so I was really looking at him like this. But y'all know what I mean. I'm giving this man the Google Gaga eyes, and y'all probably think I'm like, Asia, that's disrespectful. But if you haven't seen my previous story times about how volatile me and reality check relationship was, don't judge too soon, y'all. So we just making Google Gaga eyes. He peeps that I'm looking at him. He starts to look at me. He kind of wants like an update on how I've been or whatever. I told him I graduated. I told him about me having a job lined up, and then the job ended up falling through. I told him that I was working in, y'all, don't judge me, but if anybody asks me what I do, I tell them I work in marketing, because essentially I do YouTube is marketing, y'all. My business is marketing. So I'm telling him I work in marketing. And at this time, y'all, I had a lash business. I wasn't into the travel industry yet. Yeah. So I'm telling him I do marketing, and I'm telling him that's been going well for me. I told him I moved to Orlando, and I'm just giving him like a spiel or whatever. And then he was just like,
that's crazy. I never actually thought I would see you again.
Me either. My eyes are deceiving me now.
And he was just like, that's your man?
And I go like this, y'all. Because some days he was and some days he wasn't. Like I said, we had a very tumultuous relationship, and we were literally right at the end of that relationship. And the man was already telling me he did not want to move. Like, he did not want to move. He was comfortable where he was at. And I was at that point in my relationship where I knew I was not going to be renewing the lease with him. I was not going to be added to the lease. I was not staying in that apartment, because I can already tell I had outgrew the space, and I already had my money. I already had my money and everything saved up at this point. So I was okay with moving into this place by myself, y'all. Not really, but at the time, my sentiment was, I'm not staying here. It's either I move or I move. So I'm like, something like that. And he was like, what you mean by something like that? And he peeps the way I'm looking at him. He's making little jokes, and I started to laugh like, nothing's funny, y'all. But I'm like, and nothing's funny at all. Reality check, he peeps this. He's coming down the stairs, and he's like, Asia, I called your name. Did you not want to see the primary bedroom? Did you not want to see the office space? Like, I'm like, oh, I didn't hear you. He looks at me. He looks at Corpse. And Corpse got this player look on his face, y'all. Corpse looking like this. So how you feel about the property, bro? How you feel about it? And I look at Reality check, and I'm like, I'll go check it out, but I didn't hear you. On my way up the stairs, my face is like this. Because I felt the tension. I felt the tension. And the crazy thing was, I mentioned Corpse. I mentioned Corpse to Reality check before. So he had an inkling of who he was, y'all. I recall him asking him his name as I'm going up the stairs. He gives him his name, but once I get up the stairs, y'all, I don't hear anything. I'm just on the phone. I'm texting my best friend, and I'm just like, bitch, you're not going to believe who's here. And she's like, who? Who? Yeah, he's here. Well, I'm upstairs recording rooms to show my mama and my friends later. Literally living in delusion, y'all. I'm doing all of that while my ex-boyfriend and my soon-to-be ex is literally downstairs going through it back and forth. But at the time, I don't know it, y'all. I'm in the bathroom. I'm having a whole photo shoot in the bathroom. The master bathroom had like a claw tub, and it had a shower. It was really, really nice, y'all. So I'm in there. If I can find videos and pictures, I'm gonna have to dig through my Snapchat, but I'm gonna insert it right here. I'm in the bathroom, flicking it up. When I come back downstairs, and it's quiet as a bird. Like, you can literally hear a pin drop. So I'm looking around. I go to the den. I see Corpse in the kitchen still. And then I look in the backyard, and I'm like, damn, where's my man at? Where's Reality check? So I asked Corpse, I'm like, did you see where he went? He was like, oh, he left. He outside. I said, he left.
He said, yeah, he left. The homeboy started talking crazy, and I told him who I was.
And I'm like, what you mean you told him who I was? Well, he asked me. He asked me if we had anything going on, and I told him that we used to talk back in the day.
Now I get a title?
And I'm like, we used to talk. Why would you tell him that? He was just like, well, he kept asking. And he was like, bet. He said something disrespectful, and then he left. So I run outside in disbelief, because I'm like, this man ain't leave me for a second time. And yes, y'all, for the ones that are not new here, this is the same man that left me when we were in Mexico. This is that same man, y'all. So I run outside. Damn, you really did leave me. You really did left. Like, you left? That's crazy. That is crazy, y'all. So I go back in the house, and I'm talking to Corpse. And at this point, I'm telling Corpse all my business. I'm telling him, and I know that's crazy.
I tried to call Reality check, and I was blocked. The call was not going through. Text messages were not going through.
But y'all, I knew he was going to be my soon-to-be ex too, so that's why I felt comfortable telling him. And at this time, I was pretty much an open book, y'all. You know when relationship is about to end, because I can't even count how many people I done cried to about this man, because we were literally at the end of our relationship, and I was going through denial. So when I'm talking to the Corpse about it, he was just like, dang, like, that's crazy. Crazy how he ended up doing you the same way I did you, but with the title. Yeah, that is crazy. Nah, I'm playing, y'all. And Corpse is just like, yeah, he ain't deserve you. And then I'm a little petty, y'all. I was just like, yeah, the same way you didn't deserve me either. He was like,
no, it wasn't even like that. You wasn't ready for no relationship. You wasn't ready for no relationship. You wasn't even ready for all of that. You was young. You was at FAMU. You was having fun. I had already graduated. I was in a completely different headspace at this time.
So he's telling me his old sentiment, and we're just reflecting on everything that happened in our relationship. And at the end, he apologized. Like he apologized then, but he re-apologized for something that happened years ago. And there was no bad blood, y'all. After that, I was gonna call an Uber back to my apartment, well, our apartment, but he offered to take me, y'all. He takes me to the apartment, and on the way to the apartment, we end up stopping by a gas station. He put gas in his car, and we're just chopping it up, y'all. Literally no weird-ish, no flirting. We might have been flirting just a little bit, but you know, it was PG flirting. We're not saying I want to do you in the back seat. Like, we're not saying nothing crazy. We just saying like, oh, you know, I wonder how things would have been, you know, just reminiscing type flirting. Okay, so we pull up to my old apartment or whatever, and he was like, how long you been living here? And I just told him that I literally just moved in a couple months ago, and we just need something new or whatever. So he's asking me about like the zoning in the area. He's just basically asking me about the area, the neighborhood, and traffic and everything, because at the time the apartment was located next to Valencia, the college, y'all. So just asking me how that was being in that area. So when we pull into the apartment, y'all, the way the gate was set up, everything was registered under Reality Check's name. I had to call his phone for him to let me in the gate, but I didn't want to do that, y'all. So I waited. I waited until a car came in. We followed the car, and I knew something in me should have told me, Asia, just get dropped off at the front. Just pull up to the leasing office and just walk. But y'all, I stayed in the back of the apartment complex, so I wasn't even thinking to do all of that. And it was a hot day. So I had him pull me up, not at my building, not directly in front of my building, but literally the building beside my building, y'all. And we're just in the car talking. And I'm getting ready to get out of the car, y'all. And I literally am like, thank you so much for dropping me home. Like, you know, wishing him well. Like, no weird stuff. We didn't exchange numbers. It was nothing like that, y'all. As I'm getting off the car, guess who pull up? Guess who pull up? Well, guess who walks up? Because literally his car is parked like 3 cars from Reality Check's car. So Reality Check pulls up. He's like, he dropped you off? You let that nigga drop you off? I did. You left me. My Uber driver could have been a ninja too, you know. Like,
Oh.
let that nigga drop you off? Oh, you let him drop you off? Oh. And at this point, Corp see him bucking and weaving. So he jumps out the car. He's like, bro, it's not even like that. Calm down, bro. It ain't even like that. It's not like that. Y'all weird. Y'all moving weird. Drooling out the mouth, y'all. Every other word inaudible. I don't know what the hell he's saying. Like every other word, he mixed like 3 words together. He's like, you let that nigga try to yeah, you let that nigga try to cool down, calm down. And at this point, y'all, people from upstairs looking out their window, blinds all open, they looking, and I'm just like, it's really not that big of a deal, y'all. But I'm not gonna lie, I asked for it because my body language said it was a big deal, y'all. I'm literally leaning on this man's car. I'm leaning on his car while he's saying it's not a big deal. And at this point, they going back and forth, and at the time, my ex was trying to accuse me of having an entanglement, of having something going on with Corpse. And Corpse is explaining to him, I haven't seen Asia in years. Like, bro, there ain't no bad blood. Me and her just cool. Like, we cool. I ain't talked to her. I didn't even know that she had the listing. I seen the name, but I ain't know it was her. I ain't even know it was her. And y'all, at this point, it's a grown man's conversation because they going back and forth. I don't have anything to say. So I go in the apartment, I take a shower, and maybe like 30 minutes after that, Reality Check comes in there, and he's basically telling me that I'm wrong. And y'all know this silent treatment is going to be the longest of the longest, because when this man would get mad, he did not have any emotional intelligence. When he get mad, he just wouldn't speak. I might as well not even exist to this man, because he didn't have any emotional intelligence. Anytime we would get into an argument or anything, y'all, he did not like to handle conflict. We would argue each other down, and then after that, he wouldn't talk to me for like 5 days. Like, he would go like days without talking to me. So I already knew, baby, at this point, I might as well be a ghost, because he was not gonna be talking to me. So I go ahead and go to sleep, y'all. I go to sleep early that night. Fast forward to the following day, I get a call when I'm at work. Mind you, keep in mind, me and Reality Check, we were basically co-workers, because I worked in the bedroom and he worked in the solarium, the room directly next to the bedroom, y'all. He calls me, I guess he had went to the gym. He calls me from the gym and he's screaming to the top of his lungs saying that there's damage on his car. There's damage on his car. And you know who he thinks did the damage, because this was just that following day, y'all. He thinks Corpse did the damage. And from what I knew about Corpse, what I guess was a lie, but from what I thought I knew about Corpse, that didn't seem like his personality. That didn't seem like he was that type of guy. Like, I know men are very egotistical and they want to one up somebody, but I can't imagine him scratching his car. Like, I just couldn't imagine him doing anything like that. So I was just like, nah, that wasn't Corpse. Maybe somebody hit your car. Maybe somebody threw a rock. Like, I don't know. Like, I can see him hitting you, but hitting your car, scratching your car, that's crazy. He was like, nah, he did scratch my car. He did scratch my car. And I'm on the phone making little jokes because, ironically enough, y'all, when I purchased my car, on the right hand side of my car, the letters BITCH was written on my car. And then on the opposite side of his car, I think somebody wrote a-hole on his car. This is literally before we ever even met each other. So we would always joke around in our relationship and be like, damn, we was both dealing with crazies before we found each other, just to realize. Yeah, but yeah, so I made a joke and I was just like, maybe the person that wrote a-hole on the side of your car, maybe that's the person that did that to your car. And he's just like, nah, she ain't do that to my car. Ain't nobody do that to my car. That nigga did that to my car. And I need to report this to my insurance company. So what I had to do, y'all, what did I have to do? I had to call the police. I called the police and he told me to say that I was a witness to him doing it so he can get his word through his insurance. I didn't see him do it, but 9 times out of 10, he did it, because who else did it? Like, literally, it was a few hours after y'all got into that raging debate about how he knew me and if he was plotting on me, blah, blah, blah. And then his car ended up him having a dent in it with a scratch on it. He definitely did it, y'all. But at the time, I really didn't want to call the police on him. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this story time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in my... Also, happy Easter. If y'all see this video on Easter, because I think I'm going to put it up on Easter. If you see this on Easter, have a happy Easter. And I'll see y'all in my next one.